it out. And you go.
What the hell is he jiggling it for?
So everybody.
Yo, yo, what it do? It's your boy, KingZayyy, back in the stew, man. So, hey, man, yo, twin, as y'all can see, man, we got a very long video on the way. So before you even get into anything, twin, if you eating dinner, make sure you go ahead and get that prepared. Eating lunch, make sure you got some type of snack meal with you, bro, because this finna be a long banger. We got my 600-pound life's biggest failure, Stephen Assanti. Now listen, bro, I know we don't reacted to like one of these type before, but this is a brand new, just came out a month ago, updated edition on what Steven's been up to, bro. So all that being said, gang, we finna see what this man Steven been up to. So let's go ahead and let peep.
Stephen Assanti is a name that I've heard for a very long time. Since the beginning of my channel, people
like, bro, like, oh my, who just, hey, Pickle Boy, what?
Have been asking me to cover his answers.
He got a TikTok now?
And for some reason or another, I always put it off until today, and I absolutely see why people have been telling me to get on this. Because Stephen is a very unique person, and by that I mean he's extremely manipulative and narcissistic. He's also 800 pounds at certain
Yeah!
But it isn't just Stephen. His entire family is one of the most dysfunctional I've ever covered. And his family is a great place to start this story, because a lot of his issues stem from his childhood. Stephen Assanti was born December 2nd, 1981, to his father, Steve Sr., and mother, whose name I wasn't able to find. The family would soon have another child named Justin, and for a couple of years, things were halfway normal, until Stephen's parents separated, and Stephen cites all of this as the reason for his weight gain. He's actually given a lot of different reasons, but we'll get deeper into Stephen's childhood later in the video. But all you need to know for now is that Stephen and Justin hated each other. Justin has always claimed that his brother Stephen made his childhood a living hell, mistreating both his father and mainly when he didn't get what he wanted. And this behavior would carry over into his adulthood. Like I said, we'll talk more about Stephen's childhood later because it ties in, and honestly, it's far less important than what we're about to discuss. And that's the beginnings of Stephen's journey. In his hospital, Stephen would move out into his own apartment. The exact details of that situation are vague, but I can only assume that it was paid for by one of Stephen's parents, most likely Mr. Assanti. And when Stephen moved out, he began posting videos of himself online, specifically to YouTube, which was still in its infancy. He would post under the name Fatboy Get Down, and to see a moderate amount of success with his dancing videos and absolutely unhinged.
Oh my! No! Wait! Did Stephen just try to show us a little bit of yams? Hold on, y'all know I'm not editing nothing out this vid, bro. But hold on, what did he say his username was, bro?
He would post under the name Fatboy Get Down.
Fatboy Get Down. Let's see if that channel's still up, bro. Fatboy Get Down. Hold on, gang. Let me do some research, man. Fatboy Get Down. Damn, the first thing pop up was Fat. Oh my goodness. Wait. Ain't this his dad? Fatboy Get Down. Oh, deleted. Wait. Oh my. 441 vids. Hold on. Oh my goodness. What the heck? 12 years ago? Stephen was the original. Oops, I gained more weight. Hey, yo, bro. What is this, bro? Yo. Which one should I get? Fatboy Get Down Friday. Wait, are these just vids of him dancing? I want to be a woman. Okay, this. Eat my ass. Alright, gang, hold on. Chat, wait, I'm gonna just do this, bro. We gonna watch the most popular one, bro. What the?
Wait.
How to drop it low? No Diddy.
I'm about to give y'all a dance lesson. This is how you supposed to dance. What you want to do is you bend down like this.
Steven!
But what the important thing is, you're gonna have some gangsta. You know, some attitude. You know, you smell like shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, you smell like shit.
Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna grab your ass like this.
What?
Point it out. And you go.
What the hell is he jiggling it for?
So everybody.
Yo, alright. I don't even know why I clicked on this video, bro. This nigga Steven is throwing that shit back. Oh my goodness, bro. Yo, gang, you still have time to delete this, bro. Alright, wait, hold on, chat. Like I said, no edits, bro. Alright, last one. I want to click on the most popular one now. Fatboy Get Down Friday. Hold on, gang. I'm not trying to get copyrighted. I probably did already get copyrighted, but I ain't low. I keep it so real with you, though, B, bro. Like, yo, for him to be 800 pounds, yo, he low-key got the moves. He low-key got the moves. I ain't trying to get copyrighted for all that music, but did you just try to throw? Yo, this nigga. Yo, Steven, I was never familiar with this part of your life, gang. Like, I've never, ever. Yo, you still, all right, gang, I'm off this, bro. Alright, back to the original video, bro. Oh my goodness, that was something I didn't expect to see today, bro. 800-pound guy. Oh
and to see a moderate amount of success with his dancing videos and absolutely unhinged rants. Eventually, behavior like this caught the attention of none other than Dr. Phil, who had began a radical new project. At the time, Dr. Phil was putting together a show called House of Hatred, and the premise was pretty simple. Put individuals who would usually despise each other in a house together, having them live and interact together for a significant period of time. Examples of these individuals would be a black woman who hates white people.
What is this concept? Bro, yo, I ain't lying, bro. Yo, bro, back in the day, bro, folks was literally doing anything for views, bro. Why are we putting racists in the house with each other? You must want somebody to die. Dr. Phil? Like, what?
A white man who hates black people, a skinny girl who hates fat people, and a fat guy who hates skinny people. An absolutely fascinating premise, but for some reason, House of Hatred is considered lost media. I don't know if it's because the Dr. wasn't too happy about what
just look at his face, bro. I know they don't like each other. You got Granny too, bro.
Made, or if it's just one of those old TV things. But man, I would have loved to see the whole thing, because the pieces I was able to gather on YouTube,
I would tap in to see what would happen.
Absolutely hated Steven. They all seemed to be getting along halfway well. Despite their biases, everyone was getting along, except Steven, who refused to clean, said absolutely disgusting things, and had probably the poorest attitude that I saw. Even the white supremacist wasn't a big fan of Steven. He said that he didn't think he was talking about his anatomy to the ladies.
Bro, your own crew don't even like you.
The women hated him. Like I said,
yeah.
I wasn't able to watch much, but it seemed like everyone in the house had united around their shared hate of Steven, or at least their disdain for how messy he was. So I think maybe some people were able to take some lessons out of the House of Hatred, except for that skinny girl that hates fat people. They could not have reinforced her biases more. In one clip, they talk about how they put her in a fat suit and had her do things as...
Bro, hey, somebody find me this, bro. We gotta watch the House of Hatred, bro. You got a skinny girl that hate fat people dressed up in a fat suit?
Even
like, yo, what was TV back then in 08, bruh? Or when was this, like,
I was able
the
to
90s?
find that I found extremely insightful was an interview that Dr. Phil did with Steven near the end of House of Hatred. During this interview, Dr. Phil calls Steven a con artist. He says that he's been manipulating people in the house to clean for him, and also he hasn't been cleaning himself. Everyone in the house has been complaining of Steven's body odor. Dr. Phil says that he's manipulative, belligerent, and arrogant, all characteristics of Steven that you'll see in this video time and time again. I wasn't able...
Bro, Steven, like, I remember, y'all, if y'all watched my Insane Moments, y'all know Dr. Now was talking about that smell, so you just been smelling your whole life. Steven, why you not cleaning that big old bubble bath ass you got, bro? Like, come on. I mean, then again, though, like, can he really reach to clean those parts? I think he, like, at this point in time, I'm pretty sure he was to the weight to where, like, he couldn't clean himself properly. Like, he needed a caretaker, right?
Able to figure out if Dr. Phil kicked Steven out of the house, but I know that he did offer Steven some resources for weight loss, and they were either not accepted or not taken seriously, because in the next few years, Steven's weight would be absolutely out of control, making him bedridden and...
Oh! Steven! I don't even have any words for this, bro. Like, it's just a pile of filth. How does your leg, I don't know if that's dirt or scabs, and your shorts are brown and blue, and oh, I didn't know it was this bad. Like, oh my goodness, gang, like, ugh.
Back home with his
I'm
father
surprised
and
that bed can
brother.
hold him
Eventually,
up.
he got so bad that he had to be taken to the hospital and to stay there for a significant period of time. Steven had become infamous in his home state of Rhode Island for doing this, and during this particular hospital stay, he would order a pizza while on their weight loss program, and he would be kicked out of the hospital for doing this, making Rhode Island news, and also putting him on the radar of My 600 Pound Life. My 600 Pound Life is a reality show on TLC. It documents many different people's journey to bariatric surgery, their recovery, and life after, and Steven was contacted for a chance to participate in this. His brother Justin, who is also now over 600 pounds, also accepted, and for the next couple years they would film Steven's journey, but we wouldn't know the depth of just how bad things had gotten until Steven's episode released in 2017. Things were so bad that it was a 2-part episode, almost 3 hours covering the past few years of Steven's life. The episode begins with clips from a news story where a 700-pound man, Steven, was kicked out of the hospital for ordering a pizza to it. It then cuts to Dr. Now, the primary weight loss surgeon on My 600 Pound Life, talking about how Steven is coming to his facility, that he might be the most problematic case he has faced yet, and that he's heard Steven is problematic. We then cut to our introduction of Steven, revealing that he is over 700 pounds. The show also follows his brother Justin, who is over 600 pounds. The two of them do not get along, but it's been less of an issue since Steven moved out. Steven Assanti was living at a hospital. He had become so obese that he was bedridden, but he was being kicked out due to mistreating staff, so Dr. Now was his only hope. We then get a look at the Assanti family home, occupied by Steven's brother Justin and their father. After giving us a little bit of backstory, their dad takes us into Steven's room and talks about the time he opened the closet to find over a dozen pizza boxes inside, all very empty. Steven's father reveals that he will threaten him for pizza, claiming that Steven has even lied to the police his way. Steve Sr. also talks about how he's worried for Justin, hoping that he doesn't end up like his brother. Justin really dislikes Steven.
It's my thing. Hopefully, are they talking about attitude-wise, bro? Because if Steven 800, they already said his brother's 600. So what do we mean? Hopefully he don't end up like they gotta be talking about attitude-wise, bro. I don't really remember too much of Justin out of all the 600-pound life I don't watch, but
calls him a bully, and that things have been good since he left for the hospital. Justin says he is also worried about ending up like Steven, and that he will be visiting Dr. Now with his brother. We then learn more about their childhood, which they claim is the source of many problems. The entire family claims that their mother was an alcoholic, and that after the parents separated, she would spend her time at the club, leaving the boys at home alone with food. They said that their mother would buy them anything they wanted to keep them quiet, allowing her to live the lifestyle she wanted. Eventually, one night she went out and didn't come back, moving away with a new boyfriend. So the boys would move back in with their father. Steven would move out for a period, but eventually he found his way back, and it spiraled into what it is today, which is not good. Justin recalls a time that Steven and his father got into a fight. Police were called and Steve Sr. was arrested, only for Steve Jr. to drop the charges when he was offered a large pepperoni pizza. The family
Bro, you can't make this up, bro. Bro, you can't make this up, bro.
I
was already trying to imagine, bro. Like, yo, imagine 600. It probably, bro. Y'all ever seen that one clip of that little boy? Where he got caught gooning to the fat women fighting over food. Like, I can only imagine, yo. Imagine being the police walking in on two 600-pound lifers just. I know both of them for sure had to get triple handcuffed, but hold on though.
Police were called and Steve Sr. was arrested, only for Steve Jr. to drop the charges when he was offered a large pepperoni pizza.
But that is crazy, bro. You can't make that up, gang. You can't make that up.
The family was extremely dysfunctional, but they were all going to make the trip together to Houston from the East Coast, so it was going to be a multiple-day drive. And for this trip, Steven would be transferred by medical RV, staffed by a driver and onboard caretaker. The RV would be followed by Steve's father and brother, who, like I said earlier, was also seeking treatment. The road trip was expected to take around 30 hours to complete, and 2 hours in, Steve was already hungry, calling his father and demanding that he get him food. And he would end up getting that food. Steven claims that he wants to eat at every restaurant they pass because he doesn't know when the next one will come. And this issue would be reoccurring throughout.
Bro, what?
Then
Father, you just gotta say no.
And Steven's bed breaks. So the driver and onboard nurse decide to slide the spare tire under there. Steven's father proposes that they put cinder blocks under the bed, and the driver tells everyone that the RV is also suffering mechanical issues. And during all of this, Steven's nurse, ironically enough named Steven, is wondering what led him to this point in his life. And after successfully constructing the cinder block frame for Steven's broken bed, they continued their journey. The next day, Steven tells us that he had breakfast at 4 a.m. and then lied, acting like he hadn't had anything, to receive more food. The trip had barely begun.
The manipulation is crazy, bro.
Steven's father had already made multiple runs to get him fast food, and Steven always had this smug look about him when he got his food, especially when he knew the cameras were on him. To me, it looked like Steven was already making a joke out of the whole thing. and I think other members of this trip were feeling the same way. 2 hours later, Steven would call his father for even more food. Steven says he wants what he wants, and he's gonna get it. When his father doesn't get him the food, Steven starts angrily calling him, saying that he's feeling weak, and that if some
Bro, oh my goodness, bro. How can somebody, I mean, I guess they can, nigga, just hang up. Like, Dad, what are you, bro? Dad is peak enabler, bro. I've never heard of somebody angrily calling you. I get you can argue on the phone, but yo, just hang up, bro.
something happens to him,
Yo,
he'll be
son's life
very
is at
sorry.
risk.
Eventually, Steven's father does cave and gets him a Subway sandwich. Justin says he's not surprised. His father usually caves to Steven's demands, which is true
man.
because Steven's father would bring him more fast food numerous times before the trip was over. After about 2 days in the RV, they finally arrive at the facility in Houston, Texas, greeted at the door by Dr. Now, who already seems to know that this is going to be one of the most difficult cases of his career. When Steven first meets Dr. Now, he immediately talks about the pain that he's feeling in his legs from the trip. He says that the trip was very hard on him and that he's had no painkillers the entire time. This is another aspect of Steven's character, and will only become a bigger problem with time. And Dr. Now picked up on it almost immediately, saying that his body language indicates that he really wants it, also calling Steven a very addictive and pathological personality. Dr. Now also hopes that Justin will not have the same problems. Dr. Now also comments on the dysfunctional state of the family, saying that it is in a downward spiral. He would also tell Justin that he wanted to keep him at the facility to run some tests and make sure that he was okay as he could be. And Justin wasn't thrilled by this, telling staff that he wanted to leave, and he refused to speak to Dr. Now. He said that he didn't need help like Steven did, despite being 600 pounds himself and knowing that he has a heart murmur. Claimed that whatever happened, he would be leaving the hospital tomorrow. Steven asks the nurses to help him go for a walk so that he can go and see his brother, and encourage him to stay at the facility, but Justin immediately demands that Steven leaves, telling staff that I hate his guts. Justin would leave the hospital the next day, saying that he shouldn't have put himself in a situation where Steven could pressure him into anything.
But this is my thing, though. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Imagine, like, yo, pulling up to the hospital, I mean, for your brother's weight problems, and the doctor see you say, hold on, come here. No, you bed now. You now bed. Like, bro, that's crazy. That's when you, come on, gang. Like, I know you can walk, maneuver a little bit. You not 800, but gang, it's for the greater good, bro. But damn, they didn't already say they let him escape the hospital.
After Justin left, they would weigh Steven, showing that he was 730 pounds. But aside from that, tests had shown there were no major issues with Steven's health. They would also start Steven's diet that
How is
day.
that possible?
1,000 calories,
How
high
is that
protein,
possible?
low carb. Dr. Now says that Steven has been good for the time being, but has also displayed some erratic behavior. And he thinks that as Steven settles in and the honeymoon period wears off, the problems will begin. Steven's dad and brother then come to say goodbye, and Justin once again says that he will not be staying, and that he's very excited to
You don't want to be there,
Steven.
bro.
We then cut to Steven a month later, and he says that his hospital visit so far hasn't been too bad. He says that one of the only issues that he's been having is that people don't respond to the call button quick enough. The nurse that serves him his food seems frustrated, so I assume that Steven has already made a bad name for himself amongst the staff. Steven seems to get really frustrated when two things are taking longer than he expects, and those two things are meals and pain medication. And by the third month, staff was very fed up with Steven, and that honeymoon period was fully over. Dr. Now admits that they are starting to develop problems with Steven, and that his pathological behavior has started to come out, saying that he is mistreating hospital staff, and that he expects everyone to wait on him hand and foot. Dr. Now would eventually confront Steven on this behavior. He tells Steven that it's time for him to grow up. He also tells him that the nurses are agitated and that he needs to work on his behavior. He tells Steven that if he hears of this issue again, their next conversation will be very different. And I am once again reminded of the utter savagery displayed by Dr. Now. I'll never forget the time that someone told him they didn't want to get malnourished following the diet that he recommended, and Dr. Now simply asked them if they looked malnourished. I would say give this man his own show, but that's basically my 600-pound life, and I attribute a lot of the show's success to Dr. Now's scathing remarks, but I digress. This talk between Dr. Now and Steven only made the situation worse. The nurses claim they've never seen a patient like Steven before. He asks for pain medication every 15 minutes and will spill his urine container when he doesn't get his way. As soon as Dr. Now heard of this behavior, he would go to confront Steven. Steven says he knows that he's been misbehaving and that he's sorry, but Dr. Now says that his apology means nothing and that they are done treating him. He tells Steven that unless he has an emergency, he...
Oh, damn.
Big. It's a big.
No way we getting ass, bro. Don't worry, bro. I'm gonna edit this out, bro. I thought I was on my other. I am not on my other account. I'm gonna edit this out. Don't worry, twin. Gotcha. We had 16 minutes. Edit all this out. Alright. Hold on, lock in. Oh my goodness, is somebody cutting the grass right now? I hope y'all can't hear that, bro.
Dr. Now informs him that if he does not leave, he will be dropped at the nearest homeless shelter. Dr. Now tells Steven that he needs to call his father and arrange somewhere else to live. We then cut back to the Assanti household, where Justin is putting together a mini. He says that he's been maintaining his weight and not following the diet plan. We then see Dr. Now calling Steven's father, breaking the news that he's been kicked out. Dr. Now tells Steven's father that the only way he can remain in the program is if he moves into an apartment, and his dad would fly out the next day to assist Steven in the move. Before leaving the hospital, they do a final weigh-in with Steven, showing that despite him making staff's life a living hell, he has lost 107 pounds. It's clear that the program was working, but just not to Steven's liking.
But nah, this is my thing though, bro. You know what I mean? Alright, cool. He's losing weight. Now, Dad, are you gonna keep buying them pizzas? Are you gonna keep enabling him? Cause clear as day, he was under good hands, high protein. He was eating, you know, he wasn't sneaking no pizza in Dr. Now hospital. Now, bro, Dad, you gotta lock in now. You feel me? Like,
after leaving the hospital, they would move Steven into an apartment, and as soon as Steven's...
Jesus Christ. Oh my, bro, you can't even make this up, bro. I literally just said, Dad, you got, I ain't gonna lie, bro, at this point, bro, Dad just try to collect the welfare check, bro. At this point, bro, like, yeah, you just want the funds from your son dying, bro. Come on, bro. We not even one day out, first day out the hospital, we get a celebratory pizza? Like, what are we doing right now, bro? And it look like he busting one in his sheets right now. Like, bro, he is moaning to eating his pizza right now. He like, gang.
Sat down in his new home. He demanded that his father order him a pizza. His father said that he learned a long time ago to not fight Steven. If he wants pizza, he's going to get it. Failing to realize his hand in what's going on by enabling Steven's poor behavior. Steven's dad would ask for a singular slice, saying that he hadn't eaten since 6 a.m., but he was refused. 1 month later, and Steven's condition seems to be worse than ever. The only thing that seems to have gotten better is the way that he treats the people that help him, finding a caregiver princess who said she liked a challenge. But Steven was getting worse in almost every regard, even missing his first appointment with Dr. Now since being kicked out of the hospital. We flash forward another month, and it's been 2 months since Steven was kicked out. His caregiver princess cannot get a hold of him and receives no answer when knocking on his door. So she enters to find that Steven isn't there.
What? Alright, listen. It's no way on earth an 800-pound man escaped I don't want to say like he passed. No way. I don't want to knock on wood. It's still a lot more video left. He's still got to be alive. Where could he have possibly gone, bro?
He notices that both of his walkers are still in the home, so assumes that he was taken out by
somebody
wheelchair.
steal him?
He then hits redial on his phone and finds out that the last place he called was a hospital. She also noticed a recently filled medicine bottle that was empty. When Princess did...
Oh my goodness. Yo, bro, it's getting serious, bro. It's looking like this man done OD'd on them painkillers, bro. And obviously, he probably having some little attacks or anxiety attack, heart attack. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, some little side effects to the killers, right? So we had to call the hospital.
Find Stephen, he was at a hospital, seeking out more medication. All of this caused Princess to contact Dr. Now, saying she believed Stephen was gaining the system for these medicines. So Dr. Now decided to show up.
You know it's bad! You know it's bad when Dr. Now gotta pull up, bro! I ain't never, ever seen this man outside the hospital, bro.
And we get our first look at Stephen in over a month. He is less than excited to see Dr. Now and noticeably missing a large portion of his hair. Dr. Now notices noticeably missing a large portion of his hair. Dr. Now notices a pizza box in the trash can and asks him if he's been losing any weight, but Stephen doesn't really give him a response. Dr. Now reveals that they know all about his addiction and that he's been to the hospital 20 times recently trying to seek out medications. He tells Stephen that if their appointment next week doesn't go well...
Bro, look at her. So he just throw the hair on the ground. Look, why she's sweeping up all the missing hair right now?
He will be dropped from the program. We then cut back to Rhode Island and to see that Justin has been making an attempt at his weight loss. He says that he hasn't been sticking to his diet, but has been getting in exercise by taking a mile walk to the park. He also claims that it is much better around the house without Stephen, but that he still calls their dad all the time demanding pizza. It appears that the situation with Stephen in Houston has put their father back financially. I'm guessing that he's paying for Stephen's apartment and all of the stuff that he wants, like pizza. So he's been complaining more and more about money issues as time's gone on. Justin says that his father bought Stephen pizza 8 times this week already. Justin says that this is
it's only how many hours is in a week? I mean, how many weeks is in a day, bro? 8 pizzas is crazy.
Meeting with Dr. Now, and when he steps on that scale, he's over 700 pounds once again, gaining 83 pounds back since he left the treatment facility a couple of months ago.
Bro, we knew it was going to happen, bro.
Was going to be a bloodbath. But in a twist I didn't expect, Dr. Now gives Stephen one more chance. He tells him if he can lose 60 pounds in this next month, that he will continue to treat him. Dr. Now did give him a second chance, but he also comments on Stephen's manipulative behavior, that this is all a performance to him, just another avenue to get what he wants. And the doctor would be proven right far quicker than he ever expected. On the drive home from his meeting with Dr. Now, Stephen would demand to be taken to the hospital because he was in pain. Princess asks Stephen if he thinks this is going to work, that this will fool Dr. Now. She says that he claims he's in great pain but smiling the whole time. It seems that despite their good relationship, even she knows the truth behind Stephen. That
everybody knows, bro.
Manipulative and lying at almost every turn. I'm sure that you could already guess Dr. Now knew what Stephen was up to, and that he would come to meet him at the hospital to officially cut him off as a patient. Dr. Now tells Stephen that he has a substance problem, and that he has
he gotta
no
go
desire to change.
That keep it so real, bro. Like, the hospital is not where he need to be right now. Like, first thing first, bro, we need to focus on that addiction problem. So we need to send him to rehab. You know what I mean? And then once he can, successfully pass the rehab classes or courses or, the little convention that they be doing, Then we take him back to the hospital, bro. You feel me? We gotta solve one
believes
problem
that
at a
this whole
time.
trip to Houston was just to feed his bad habits. He had spent 6 months halfway across the country and only gotten worse. He tells Steven that you're done manipulating the system with me for now, and that he's going from there to rehab. Steven says that he thinks this program will be a waste of time, and the introductory episode thinks this program for now, and that he's going from there to rehab.
Okay, okay. Dr. Zay in the building, bro. I'm telling you, bro.
Steven says that he thinks this
already
program
knowing, bro.
will be
Like,
a
literally.
waste of time,
I know
and
what the
the
patient
introductory episode to Steven Assanti ends. But in a very rare occurrence for My 600-Pound Life, the brothers would get 2 episodes back to back. And I gotta say, what happens next is undoubtedly crazier than anything that has happened so far.
happened?
The second episode begins with Steven being transported to rehab, and it's something that Steven is not very excited for. Steven admits that he was conning the hospitals for prescriptions, and also admits that his addiction has gotten out of control, that he is risking his life every day with the amount that he's taking. And this admission serves as a small sliver of hope in what will become an increasingly darker story. But Steven's attitude also reminds me of when he was in the honeymoon period at the hospital. All smiles, all positivity, and it quickly wears off. After entering the rehab facility, Steven is immediately escorted into a room with doctors and the CEO. They ask Steven about his addiction and the source of it, which he credits to a gallbladder surgery that he had around the age of 25, never losing the habit that he had acquired. He says that he doesn't want to end up like Prince and all of these other celebrities, showing just how out of touch he had become because of the presence of cameras. Steven was on TV before during the House of Hate, but in no way was he a celebrity, especially not right now. But camera crews had been following him around for 6 months, and his ego became yet another thing that was out of control. During this discussion with doctors, Steven also goes in depth about
look how he's big chilling right now,
claiming that his right leg is in overwhelming pain, and that gets him what he wants. The doctors inform Steven that he will...
I know that's gotta hurt, bro. Like, it's like his foot looked like a one of the little Texas Roadhouse biscuits, bro. It's like biscuit dough on biscuit dough on biscuit dough on toe. Like, that's crazy.
Will have to go through a medical detox at a hospital. It will be the first leg of his journey, and it could take anywhere between 3 to 10 days. But Steven's problem was so severe that he needed 24/7 monitoring. One of the first things that Steven asks is if it's on lockdown, and if he can have his phone. When they tell him no, he asks if they have internet access. They explain to him that it's a secondary concern right now, and Steven says not to him, he needs to contact his people. And I already know this is going to be a disaster, but Steven does accept the help and is admitted to the hospital for detox. We then cut back to the Assanti household, where Justin and his father are playing Monopoly. Justin says that he's been doing a lot better since Steven is gone, that when he was around, all he did was put Justin down, and the attention was always on him. I want to remind you that the Assanti brothers are both over 30 years old at this point, both living at home until Steven became too medically unwell to even live there. It's like the movie Step Brothers, if it was horribly sad. Justin says that he wants to start his own hobby shop, and Mr. Assanti will be helping him. Justin's dad thinks it will be a good thing just to get him out of his room. He says Justin has been doing much better since Steven left. He also says that Steven is one of the most stubborn people he knows, and hopes that the rehab facility will be able to break him, because he wasn't able to. I've covered a lot of situations in my time on the internet, but this has to be one of the most dysfunctional families I've ever seen. We then cut back to Houston, where Steven is 4 days into his stay at rehab. We're also informed that Steven demanded a higher dose of his detox medication and was denied. And then we hear a phone call between Steven and his father, where he begs to go home, claiming the
They're treating me like a criminal.
Hospital treats him like a criminal, that he's exhausted, and he just wants to go home.
Steven
He
is
also
not a
calls it
real
the
human,
devil's
bro.
playground. Needless to say, he's making staff's life a living hell. But despite all of Steven's protests, he would spend another 3 days in the facility, and after 7 days they would release him back to the rehab. And shockingly, he would be sent home, back to his Houston apartment. When he enters his apartment, he realizes his caretaker princess has not dropped off his medication,
gracious, bro.
and he is absolutely
Bro pulled out his
Princess
built-in dinner tray.
informs Steven that it will be $150. So of course, Steven calls his dad and begs for the money.
Bro.
Steven says that if he ends up making a bad
Why does
decision, then it's on them.
Yo, this should be illegal for him to have animals, bro. Why do I see? At least I pray that's the dog's food, not his food. I hope. Yo, game, but oh wait, that guy. I see a dog cage. I see a dog cage, bro. Bro, this dude is so messy and so like unstable right now, bro. Animals should not be allowed to be near him, bro. Like genuinely, bro. He can't even take care of the animals himself. Why is pets at his apartment?
It is mind-boggling to me that a
how
man
nasty
in his
this room
mid-30s
is.
wants to
They have
blame
no holes
his
at the
inability
crib.
to pay a $150 bill on two of the only people that actually put up with him anymore. We then cut to a couple weeks later and get a good look at Steven's apartment, which is turned into an absolute wreck. Steven tells us that after
like a
blowing up
hoarder's
the
house,
princess
man.
for a second time, she resigned as his caretaker. But
I
that
thought she
she's
liked the
coming over
challenge.
for one last visit to say goodbye and to take back a TV set that belongs to the care company. But Steven says that it's his and he's not going to let her take it.
What you gonna do about it, bro? You gonna chase me down? You gonna chase me around the house when I take your TV, bro? Only thing he can do, bro, is get up and lock the door, bro. You know what I mean? That's literally, he gotta walk fast, though.
He says that she can drop off his medicine, get him something to eat, and go. Princess says that Steven's behavior since detox
Auntie ain't going for that.
completely unacceptable.
She ain't going
He's
for
not
none of
been
that.
sticking to his diet, not been listening to the doctors when it comes to his medicine, and very mean towards her. Princess hands Steven some paperwork, says she's going to fix his laundry, and that when she returns, she'll be taking the TV that she gave him, which was a loaner from the company. And as soon as she walks out the door to go get Steven's laundry, he calls the police. When he comes back from getting Steven's laundry, the door is locked, and Steve...
Oh my goodness! He wasted no time, bro!
Steven tells her that the police are on their way due to the TV dispute, and she almost can't believe her ears. Princess says that it doesn't matter
this man
because
on
the TV's
demon
coming with her.
mode.
She has no issue talking to the cops on this
course
matter.
not.
Eventually, Steven does let Princess back in to take the TV, and he tries to call the police back to cancel his previous report. And after months of being on good terms, this was the last time that Steven would ever see Princess.
Yo, you call the cops on me, bro, we will never be friends
Steven
again,
is
bro.
already
What?
back to his old
You crazy, man?
once again in the emergency room complaining about leg pain. During this visit, Dr. Now shows up out of nowhere, trying to calm an irate Steven.
This man
who
done
is
spawned
demanding
in, bro.
something for his leg
Look at
pain.
Dr. Now
Dr.
at,
Now
bro.
comments on the side that he doesn't believe Steven has detoxed, and that he looks bigger than he's ever seen him before, and that Steven is pulling his hair out again. Basically, Steven is worse than he's ever been. And Dr. Now says that they have to start the detox process all over again. After Steven calms down and they move him into another room, Dr. Now requests that they weigh him, and Steven weighs in at 8.
That's hard. I wouldn't have guessed, bro. Alright, so mind you, bro, Steven been in that little Houston apartment. He been busting down good pizzas. We seen how filthy his room is. He been, watching a lot of TV, chilling in the bed, most likely no exercise, bro. They already said 8. I'm assuming he gotta be like 8:45. But I'll put y'all predicts in right now, bro. Put something in y'all. No Diddy, I'm about to say put something in y'all head, bro. But yeah, man, 8:45. That's what I'm going with.
108 pounds.
What was I like? Damn. I was like 2 pounds off. I was close.
Up yet another 100 pounds since his last weigh-in. But shockingly, Dr. Now offers Steven a chance to get back in the program at the hospital, to go through detox once again and start a controlled diet.
Bro, why did
After
Dr.
the
Now
utter
care so
hell
much
that
about him,
Steven
bro?
put staff through during his last stay, this was shocking. But I think the doctor's
TLC gotta
reasoning
be
was he
gotta
believes
be
this
paying
is
him extra
Steven's
to take care of
only
Steven,
hope,
bro.
and that in his current
Wait, what?
Steven put staff through during his last stay, this was shocking. But I think the doctor's reasoning was he believes this is Steven's only hope.
Can I get a W Dr. Now in chat, bro? Like, genuinely, bro. Because me personally, bro, after you splashing, yelling, mistreating my nurses, my other gang, you wouldn't get us another word, visit, talk, comfort, none, not another episode out of me, bro. Chat. I guarantee you they paid Dr. Now like probably another 5 bands to keep going continuing, bro.
And that in his current state, he doesn't have much time left. We then cut back to Rhode Island, and it's a very exciting day for Justin. The opening day of his hobby store. It's called Hobby Haven, and it's still in business today. Earlier, in a bit of the video that I've now deleted, I talked at length about how irresponsible I thought this was of Justin. I talked about how hard I thought it was to start a hobby store, and how it was even harder to keep them open. But I just want to say he proved me wrong. This hobby store has brought nothing but happiness and success to Justin. And this will become more and more apparent as we catch up to the current day in the timeline. The episode then jumps back to Steven 1 month into his hospital stay. But this is actually his last day in the facility, claiming he doesn't know why they're kicking him out, and that he's been behaving so much better this time. But before leaving, there was one final weigh-in. Dr. Now enters the room and Steven gets up for the weigh-in. He tells Steven to put on a gown, but Steven says it's not anything he hasn't seen before.
Doesn't mean that everybody
else. Whoa!
During the final weigh-in, Steven comes in around 700.
Yo, Craig, I'm gonna put your meat up, bro. This man is weighing. I mean, I guess that's the most accurate weight. You know what I mean? You gotta weigh with just spaghetti and meatballs out, yams just out in the back. And I guess Dr. Now's a doctor, so he gonna keep it professional. Like, dang, I would have at least throw on some shorts or something. Like, yo, this is crazy, bro.
120 pounds.
Wait, how much?
During the final weigh-ins.
Oh, yeah, wait, let me predict. Wait, did he say 725? I think I already heard.
Steven comes in around 720 pounds.
Yeah,
and Dr. Now is at least pleased with this progress.
Hey, that's like what? That's a good little weight loss.
To return home to his apartment.
Stop! Oh my God! Like, bro, stop sending this man home. He don't know how to act. Bro, if anything, bro, y'all gotta get him down to like bare minimum, like below 600, bro, like 5 whatever, bro, before y'all start sending this man home, bro. We know what's gonna happen. His dad gonna start fueling him up with them pizzas again.
Of seeing a therapist, because for the past 8 months he had been refusing to see one. Dr. Now also sets a goal of 40 pounds a month weight loss for Steven, and instead of asking any questions about the therapist or his diet, he requests more prescriptions from Dr. Now. When the doctor tells him that he has no need for it, Steven claims that he's still in pain. Dr. Now refuses and leaves the room. He comments about how Steven doesn't like authority, and that before any treatment can occur, he needs to change his behavior. Back in the room, Steven is talking about how Dr. Now doesn't understand his pain, and that makes him not a good doctor. Steven claims that asking
you mad because the doctor not 800 pounds?
Therapist is a lot to ask from him in the next month, but that he's gonna try because he doesn't want to blow it. A couple days later, Steven would meet with the therapist in his apartment. The therapy session goes about how you'd expect. Steven admits that he does have an eating problem, but nothing else, claiming he's got everything else handled. The therapist is also very aware of Steven's manipulative nature, but other than that, the visit was mostly uneventful. The therapist claims that he is just trying to establish a rapport with Steven, not yet ready to confront him on anything. We then cut to a week later and Steven says that he's actually doing much better, sticking to the diet and listening to what the therapist told him. Steven tells us that his dad just flew into town, and that he's excited to see him. The reason his father flew in is because they need to find Steven a new apartment, that this one is just too expensive, and And the second Steven's father comes in the door, he starts talking about how gross it is in there.
I know it's disgusting.
Steven's dad says
Look at
that
the
it stinks
walls,
wicked
bro.
bad. Steven Sr. says that between paying for this place and Justin's store, he's going broke. And it immediately hit me who he reminds me of. A much less threatening Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos. Much like how Paulie has to pay for his mom to stay in a nice nursing home and kick up his cut to Tone, Steve Sr. has to pay for Steven's apartment and Justin's store, claiming he almost lost his house because of all these expenses.
Sugar daddy at this
so
point,
he's
ain't he?
very upset over the condition of the apartment.
I know he
Steven's
working
dad says that he's not going to make too many comments
like,
because
God,
there's only
12
so
hours
much
every
he can
day.
take. But he asks his son if he's willing to imagine a reality unlike the one he currently lives in.
And I'm gonna keep it so real, bro. Like, yo, obviously clear as day, yo. Steven's dad is up there in age. He probably like, bro, he gotta be like 60 plus, 70 plus, right? So I ain't gonna lie, bro. Yo, the amount, cause, bro, I'm not saying he the richest, obviously. They say he going broke, bro. Putting all that stress on your dad, bro, to pay for, you know what I mean, your apartment and the store. I mean, luckily we know now that the store is doing good, but bro, like, this can lead to stress, and when old people get stressed, bro, knock on wood, yo, you might just off your father. Like, if it was any time to lock in, bro, I would lock in before it's too late, bro. You were stressing your pops out far too much, and he is well beyond the age of retirement. Looking at him, bro, like, come on, man, what are we doing?
Steven basically says no. His dad leaves, saying that he'll be back tomorrow morning, and that if they don't find him a place by Thursday, he doesn't know what's going to happen. We then cut to 3 days later, where Steven and his father are spending the day looking for apartments. So they put Steven on the back of a golf cart and take him to the location of his new apartment. But after going up a curb, Steven falls off, and then claims to be in tremendous pain, and demands that they call an ambulance.
I ever seen the screenshots move so far
he
this
doesn't
big.
think his son fell for real, and even
No,
more
bro,
so
he
that
want more
he
medicine,
doesn't need
bro.
an ambulance. His dad is torn between calling the ambulance or leaving Steven. He says that Steven has done this so many times that he has no idea if he's actually hurt, but they do end up calling the ambulance, and he tells them his whole body hurts. Steven's dad asks him if he thinks he can get up and walk to the ambulance, to which he does not respond well.
Killing me!
Likening it to
Oh, he talked to you like that, bro. I ain't lying.
thinks that this
Bro,
is
I
all
thought-
an act,
yo,
saying
oh, I
that
low-key got
Steven
mad,
has
bro. I
run out
thought
of
he was talking to
excuses with
me.
his leg, and now he has to resort to this. The ambulance tells Steven and his father that they cannot access where he currently is, so they convince Steven that the only opportunity they have to move him is if he gets up and enters his father's van. And when they do, he drives away and doesn't take Steven to the hospital. Another thing that he's not very happy about. The two then get into a fight where Steven's father accuses him of not being in any pain. Instead of taking Steven to the hospital, his father takes him to the therapist in a very relieving putting the foot down moment.
About
Steven's
time,
dad
Pops!
had long enabled his behavior
About
out of
time,
many different
man.
emotions, but it looked like Steve Sr. had finally had enough. The therapist comes out
Yeah,
to the
dog,
car
it took
to
your
greet
son falling out
Steven
the
and
golf
his
cart for you
father,
to
who
finally
are
have
both
enough?
attending the session today. But Steven says he's in a lot of pain and he needs to get to the hospital. Steven refuses to attend the session, so his father goes alone. And while his father and the therapist are having a very productive conversation, Steven is calling emergency services trying to get into the hospital. The therapist convinces Steven's father
take
to go
away his
outside
phone, bro.
and tell the EMS crews what's up. Mr. Assanti tells them a little bit about Steven's history, all the while Steven is denying all of this. But
Of course he
eventually
is.
the paramedics do leave, and despite his best efforts,
Why on earth did they just give this man a neck brace? Bro, he is okay. He is perfectly fine, bro. That fall, bro, he took like maybe a 6-inch fall, bro. He's all right, bro.
he did not
Neck
go
brace
to the
is
hospital.
OD,
We
bro.
then cut
They
ahead
doing
another
too
couple
much.
days, and they have finally found a place for Steven to move into. After getting yelled at on the phone by
How the hell is Steven gonna fit through the front
by
door?
his other son, Justin, Steven's dad spends the night moving all of his things into his new apartment.
Pop's
And
working
after
too
that,
hard,
his
bro.
dad leaves to return to New Jersey, saying that he'll see Steven again when he gets the operation done. We jump ahead yet another month to see
Bro, this
Steven
man-
being worse than ever. There is
Wasn't
junk
that a
food
good
everywhere in
Coca-Cola?
his apartment, and today's the day that he has his appointment with Dr. Now. Steven claims he knows that he has gained weight, but will still meet
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Out of all the bills, no, it's not the nastiest one. The nastiest one when he was laid up in the bed with like the doo-doo stains on his leg. But this might be gang. I don't know. I mean, he kind of do look. I'm about to lie. Why was I about to say he kind of do look skinny? I'm geeking. Like, at least he can walk, man. I'm gonna leave it at that, bro.
meet with Dr. Now to face the music. When he did weigh in, he gained another 20 pounds in 1 month. And when Dr. Now enters the room, it's an absolute bloodbath. He tells Steven that he's made no progress, and when they do help him, he undoes all of their work.
Absolute failure.
Dr. Now asks what the next weigh-in is
Yo!
coming at,
That's not
800
even
pounds,
playing with
and
his ass,
Steven
bro.
responds somewhere around 6. And Dr. Now claims that that's impossible, showing that he's lost any faith that Steven will make progress. Steven then has the gall to ask Dr. Now for more medication. Steven claims that it's to help him work out, and Dr. Now is speechless. I love how Steven frames it as going to see Dr. Now to face the music, when he's really just looking for any way to scam for medication. He thought long and hard about how he was going to ask this to Dr. Now, and came to the conclusion that the best way would be through weight loss, or at least that's what he'd tell the doctor. Dr. Now asks how many times Steven has been to the emergency room in the past month, and Steven replies somewhere in the realm of 5 times. Dr. Now then shows Steven some medical documents that he requested, showing that in the past year Steven had received over 30 prescriptions from 17 different doctors.
What?
The doctor informs Steven
That
that his
gotta be
days of
illegal,
doing
bro.
this are
And then
over.
went, bro, the doctors and drug dealers. Yo, he done went to 17 different plugs. Bro, what?
And Steven immediately leaves. Dr. Now tells Steven that he's sending all of this information to a database, and that the next time he pulls something like this, he'll be arrested. Then, in one of the most savage moments I've ever seen on television, Dr. Now tells Steven that he has something to show him, making him walk to another room where he stands in front of a mirror, and the doctor requests for him to look at himself in it.
Wait. Oh, he actually got a clip, bro? Hold on.
In front of a mirror, and the doctor requests for him to look at himself in it.
Look.
It's clips like this.
Bro. Bro, oh my goodness, bro. Bro, imagine being so big, bro. You know what I mean? Like, the doctor said, like, yo, Dr. Doc, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Real, bro, he funny as hell, bro. You so big, the doctor tell you to look at yourself in the mirror as motivation for losing weight. But then again, bro, yo, like, what working brain, healthy brain, functioning brain person is gonna look at themselves in the mirror, see all they rolls, jelly, BBB, like, just go, like, not want to, like, at least try, like, stop, at least cut back on the pizzas. I mean, at least I ain't gonna say get on a diet. Yo, cut back on something. You feel me? Like,
that have made
bro,
Dr.
look at your
Nazardan
bill.
a living
Look.
legend. He has absolutely zero issues pointing out the obvious to his patients, which I personally believe results in more success and better care. What I'm trying to say is not all heroes wear capes. The
Facts.
entire time that Dr. Now is asking Steven to look at himself in the mirror, he is
Look.
clearly uncomfortable, almost
I need that clip, I
unwilling
ain't
to do
gonna lie,
it,
bro.
but
I
in
need
the
that
brief
clip.
few glances he gets, he is not pleased. It's almost like the reality of the situation is finally setting in, at least in that moment. Despite all of this, Dr. Now did not cut him off as a patient, telling him that if he returned next time and hadn't lost any weight, that they would officially be done. So when Steven returned
Bro,
home,
he done-
he
That's not
attempted
to say
to
that
be
8
active
times
and
now,
stick
bro.
to
He
his
don't- bro.
diet, at least when
Steven
the
know
camera
he
was
capping.
on. He would throw out all of his soda and take walks outside.
I still don't get this. How the hell is he able to walk, bro? Like, yo, he's like, bro, Steven is literally the definition of a glitch in the matrix, bro. Show me another 800-pound plus person that can walk around like normal, bro. Like, he gotta be like 6'2" then. That's the only way. Cause think about it, bro. When they do be 800 pounds, bro, they be like 5'2". They be like human bowling balls, like human wrecking balls. Like Steven gotta be like 806'3" or something, bro. He gotta be tall. No way he's
which
not.
he claimed were
That's the only
incredibly
reason to explain him
painful.
walking.
After this, we cut back to Rhode Island and see Justin. He
Look at
says
his
that the
shot
hobby
taken
store
out.
has been a struggle in the past few
Oh, damn,
months,
not yet.
but that he's also thinking about going to Houston to seek out weight loss surgery. He then has a video call with Dr. Now, who asks him how his weight has been doing. Justin says he doesn't know, he's not a fan of the scale, and Dr. Now tells him that he needs to learn how to use it if he's ever going to get his weight
Bro,
down.
you can't make
Dr.
this
Now
up, bro.
also recommends therapy to Justin, who thinks that it's not going to be very much help. So he asks Justin if he wants to get weight loss surgery, and he is interested. So Dr. Now gives him the goal of 30 pounds a month weight loss.
That's doable.
Justin agrees, and things are looking hopeful, at
I think
least
Justin
back
will
in
be able
Rhode
to do it,
Island.
bro.
We then jump
I
2
think-
months forward back to Steven, who is going to be weighed by Dr. Now. And for the first time on his own, Steven would lose weight. A significant amount, actually, 73 pounds. And Steven was thrilled. Dr. Now
Let me
would
fuck-
tell Steven that he is proud of his progress.
Yo, I don't wanna. Yo, I'll celebrate. I'll celebrate. But it's my only thing, bro. Like, bro, we know his past, bro. Like, obviously, yeah, this is a great stepping stone. I'm not gonna discredit him, bro. Great stepping stone in the right direction, bro. But do we think he will keep it up? 73-pound weight loss by yourself? Amazing game. But yo, I gotta see some consistency, bro. You know what I mean? Like, don't just go, like, don't use this moment for a celebratory pizza, bro. No pizza parties. Stay away from the pizza parties.
But he still needs to see more before he's approved for weight loss surgery, giving him the goal of 40 pounds weight loss in the next month. Steven then goes home and reflects on his relationship with his brother Justin. He says he knows that his relationship with his brother has not been good, and it's because of the way that he's treated him. But Steven claims that as he moves farther away from addiction, he wants to repair that. So he video calls his brother. He tells Justin that he wants him to get the surgery and that he really cares about him. He also apologizes to Justin for everything that he put him
Oh, let me
through
find
in
out
the
he checked.
past.
Bro, no. I don't wanna fall for it, bro. Like, let me find out he really turned into a good person. Cause I've never seen any video ever that we've ever watched on the channel, bro, of him like turning a new leaf. Like, never.
Justin says that his forgiveness needs to
I
be
always thought he
earned,
was
and
evil.
that's basically where the episode ends. But it is nowhere even close to where the story of the Assanti brothers ends. 2 years later, they would feature in an episode of My 600-Pound Life, Where Are They Now?, giving us some much-awaited insights about how the two had been. The original episodes end on a somewhat positive look, so I was just hoping that the brothers had kept that momentum. And in some ways they did, but in others not so much. Season 5, episode 1 begins with Steven 1 year and 7 months into his move to Houston, and Steven tells us that it's been a couple months since his weight loss surgery, claiming that with weight loss, his mobility and quality of life has increased. He's not a big fan of solid food, so he's been getting the majority of his calories through liquids. He also says that he likes the new him and that he doesn't want to go back. The relationship with his brother Justin has improved significantly. Steven hopes that his brother will be getting the surgery soon. We then cut over to Rhode Island, where we see Justin, who is working in his hobby shop.
That boy done upgraded living.
Justin says that he wants to go to Houston to get weight loss surgery, but that he'll have to remain there for quite some time in recovery. So he's been getting all of his affairs in order, trying to exercise and meet the weight loss goals. He expresses his concern in leaving his business for a significant period of time.
I feel it, bro. That's
has
money
a
out your
friend that
pocket.
will run it for him while he's gone. Even
Okay,
still,
don't
he
be friends.
hopes that Dr. Now will allow him to return home early. He then gets on a video call with his brother brother Steven, and they talk about Justin's upcoming trip to seek surgery. Justin doesn't seem thrilled by the move. He says it's going to be too hot, and he still seems pretty annoyed with Steven. The call ends, and Justin says that he's really not looking forward to it, and that he knows Steven is just going to try to annoy him. After that, we cut to a montage of Justin and Steve Sr. packing for their move to Houston. Justin's father will be moving with him for the time, and the two seem generally positive.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I know some good progress. This is the first time I have ever, so far, 43 minutes in, bro, we have seen Pop smile, like, ear to ear. I'm talking about showing all 33, however many teeth is inside of the adult mouth. I think I'm close. But yo, gang, like, it look like the spirits is high, man.
Steve Sr. seems optimistic about Steven's progress, also hoping that he's been able to remain clean. Justin's dad suggested that they stay with Steven, but he refused, claiming that it was non-negotiable, and honestly, I don't blame him. 3 days later, the pair arrives in Houston, after a much calmer road trip than they had with Steven. Steve Sr. immediately wants to go see Steven, and Justin says that he's not interested. And when they call Steven on the phone, a fight ensues. Justin tells his brother that he's not going to visit him, and Steven says he doesn't care because Justin's rude anyways. And it becomes apparent to me that Steven was lying when he said his relationship with his brother had improved. So when the phone call ends, Steven's father is pissed at Justin, telling him that he's hurting his brother's feelings.
You don't think it hurts his feelings when you say like that?
Justin's father demands that he calls his brother back and apologizes, to which Justin refuses. Steve Sr. says he'll turn this car around right now, and that he doesn't care about Justin's surgery. He then tells his son that you two should be fat, and this sets Justin off. He strikes his father.
Oh my goodness! Yo! I need to see this clip, bro. His father wanna... Oh my goodness, bro! While driving is crazy. Well, hold on. What did that say? He said you two are fat. What did he say?
And that he doesn't care about Justin's surgery. He then tells his son that you two should be fat. And
that's crazy. Now hold on, bro. We're at 44:53, bro. I know they ain't gonna try to copyright me, but hold on. I gotta see the clip, bro. Justin, if we can find it, 600-pound life punch dad. Oh my goodness. All right, chat. I can't play too much. Wait. We gonna watch the short. Wait, hold on. I gotta see this clip, bro.
You two should be fat.
Whoa!
All right?
Oh my goodness! Okay, so that wasn't nothing too crazy, man. I'm probably gonna have to edit that. That might be the first edit I make this video. I'm not gonna lie, bro. It was look, nothing too crazy, man. You know what I mean?
And this sets Justin off. He strikes his father numerous times, and Steve Sr. acts like nothing even happened. After all of that, Justin is dropped off at the hotel, and Steve Sr. goes to see Steven. After seeing Steven and criticizing him lightly, his father tells him he's impressed, that his weight loss is noticeable, and that he's proud of him. Personally, I think that Steven was a little out of it, and I don't know if his dad noticed that too, because the next day, Justin and Steve Sr. go to see Dr. Now for his weight loss surgery to see if he can finally be approved for it. But when Justin arrived at the office, he wasn't off to a good start, as he had recently gained 4 pounds. When Dr. Now enters the room, he asks Justin how much he's eating and what kind of stuff. He says only 2 to 3 times a day with no snacking in between, and that his meals mostly consist of chicken.
How much?
Justin says that he's cut out nearly all of his carbs. He's only been eating chicken. Steve Sr. asks how this is even possible, and Dr. Now says that if you're telling me the truth, then it's the portion size, that he's eating enough chicken to gain while currently being 600 pounds. Dr. Now then gives Justin the weight loss goal of 60 pounds in the next 2 months, and sends him on his way with a new high-protein diet plan. A couple days later, we cut to Steve Sr. Sr. and Steven going to see Dr. Now. He is getting another weigh-in after his weight loss surgery. And when they arrived at the facility, Steven had a great weigh-in. He was expected to lose 20 pounds and ended up losing nearly 100. I'll admit, it was a turnaround that I never expected. And for once, Dr. Now enters the room in somewhat of a good mood.
They never talk about this, bro. Yo, shout out to the dude that made this video, man. Wait, what? Shout out to Kiwi Tapes, man. Shout out to Kiwi Tapes, man. Everybody always dogs Steven out. Nobody ever talks about this, bro. Nobody.
He tells Steven that he's doing well. The only thing that he'd recommend him to work on is his bodily hygiene, mostly to help with the worsening condition of his legs. Other than that, like I said, the doctor was pleased and he sends Steven on his way. He says in private that he is still cautiously optimistic about Steven's progress, but that so far it's been promising. A couple of days later, Steve Sr. manages to convince Justin to go and see Steven. He tells him that it will help him with his own weight loss goals, to see just how much progress his brother has made. When they arrive, Steven nearly refuses them at the door. Steve Sr. has brought cat food for the cat, which he claims is sick, and that would explain the puppy pads that Steven has down. But like I said, Steven didn't seem thrilled to see them, even screaming at them through the door before eventually letting them in.
John, just let me in.
When Justin enters the apartment, you can tell that he is uncomfortable. He knows that his brother is going to try to pull something, and that's what I was expecting because Steven showed no interest in his father, only in Justin. Steven starts by acting kind towards his brother, but then also starts to mention the drawbacks of the surgery, claiming that he was in so much pain. To me, it all seems like Steven is trying to subtly influence his brother against getting it, but that's just a theory, and it didn't seem to work because Justin would remain in Houston to seek out his weight loss surgery. And the next time that he would weigh in with Dr. Now, he had lost nearly 50 pounds in 1 month, reaching his goal and making him available for weight loss surgery. And the surgery would be completed without any issues. Steven refused to attend, citing his brother's lack of support during his own surgery, but he would eventually go to see his brother while he was recovering in the hospital. And it actually went pretty well, with Steven and Justin having one of the best interactions I've seen this entire time. But after Steven and his father left, Justin would say that he's not looking to repair anything with Steven. He hopes that he continues to get healthier, but he doesn't think they can salvage their relationship. We flash forward a couple of weeks, and Justin's recovery is going well. He has been positive about his stay in Houston in almost every regard, except for Steven. Justin claims that a couple of days after his surgery, his father would bring Steven over for a visit, which went halfway well, but Justin noticed that after Steven left, some of his medication was missing. He claims that his
Steven, bro. It's always something with you, bro. Always something.
father won't even confront Steven about it, but that it's just a sign of a greater problem, that Steven doesn't really care about what happens to his brother, just what he can get out of him. As if the situation couldn't get any worse, Steven then calls his father to ask how Justin's recovery is doing. Justin doesn't want to speak to Steven, and when his father forces him to, he confronts him on what happened. And of course, Steven denies stealing from Justin, and Steve Sr. is enraged by Justin's question.
Yo, why did Dad actually do it like Dr. Phil? I'm just realizing that, bro.
He admits to knowing that Steven still has a problem, and Steven demands that they don't talk about it. The phone call quickly ends, and Justin has an argument with his father, revealing some pretty disturbing information. He reveals that Steve Sr. has had a hand in Steve Jr.'s habit, facilitating the theft of Justin's medicine, even admitting just how much he had given Steven. I have no idea how he roped his dad into this, but Steve Sr. is one of the biggest enablers.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Yo, bro. Oh, my Pops. Like I said in the beginning, bro, it's clear as day now you want that welfare check, bro. Giving your son pizza in the first place, and now you sneaking yo son that has an addiction problem his brother's medication. get him away from everybody, bro. He just doing too much now, bro. Like, yo, L Pops, man.
I have
Come
ever
on,
seen.
dude.
The food is
Come
one
on,
thing, but this
dude.
new revelation is a completely
That's
different matter.
crazy,
Justin
man.
actually needed that shit. He just had massive surgery, and Steven already has a problem with it. The argument
on,
ends,
man.
and in private, each of them lament on how they think they are correct. In my
I wouldn't
personal
even wanna,
opinion,
like,
Justin
be
has
around
been
my
very
pops no
wronged
more,
here.
man.
He's
Like,
no
I'm
angel
hurt.
himself,
What medicine
but
am I
this is
gonna
just
take?
nuts. And I think Justin saw something like this coming, which is part of the reason he's maintained as little contact with Steven as possible. But
Yeah.
as always, he found a way to get what he wants. Needless to say, the future was
Hell,
looking very
Steven,
bleak
man.
for the family. We then cut to a couple of months later, and Steven has once again managed to worm his way into Justin's life. He convinced
How
his
does he
father
keep
to
doing
schedule
this?
his doctor's appointment on the same day as his
Oh my-
brother's, so
It
they
be
were
like
both
that,
on
bro.
the way
I get Pops at the same time too, bro, because it's like, man, you kind of want to, man, you got two sons, man, them your only son, you kind of want them to get along, you know what I mean, bro?
to the hospital for a checkup,
So-
and tensions were high. Justin announces that he wants their appointments to be separate, not in the same room, and I don't blame him, but
I
if
mean,
it was
yeah,
me,
bro,
I would
grown
spill
man.
the
They
beans
30
to
plus,
Dr.
bro.
Now, let him
I'm
know
a
just
grown man.
what was
Give me a
up with
grown man
Steven and
appointment,
his
bro. Not no
dad's
buddy.
little op.
Oh, my fault. I know. Let me run it back. I know I'm talking over him, bro. Like, bro, I'm 30 plus. They probably like all these months later. They probably like 35, like both of them plus, bro. I'm a grown man. Give me a grown man appointment. I know buddy appointment with my brother. Gang, like
Not
what?
in the same room, and I don't blame him, but if it was me, I would spill the beans to Dr. Now, let him know
Word.
just
Ah.
what was up with Steven
I'm
and his
snitching,
dad's
you.
little operation. But then again, that's illegal, and I think they'd probably both go to jail. So Justin
Okay,
kinda
never
has
mind. I
his
guess I'm not
hands
snitching.
tied behind his back. I understand their fathers want to reconnect his sons, but it's clear that Steven is still just using Justin to his own ends. After Steve Sr. starts yelling at Justin, he breaks down and tells us the reason that he doesn't want to be anywhere near Steven. He says that he used to beat the crap out of him every day for 18 years. Steven
Oh, man, he
responds,
was that type of
accusing
big
Justin
brother.
of similar behavior, showing a scar on his hand where he claims Justin stabbed him. This car ride is already an absolute disaster, and I
Boy.
think this was all according to Steven's plan. And when they arrived at the clinic, Justin refused to see the doctor, citing Steven as the reason. So only Steven
man,
and
bro.
his father enter to see Dr. Now. Dr. Now enters the room and asks, "Where's Justin?" They tell him about the situation, so he suggests that they just see Justin after they're done with Steven. But Steve Sr. doesn't know if that's gonna work. He'll ask him, and the doctor basically says, "No, you'll tell him," and that Steve Sr.'s attitude towards the boys in this regard is part of the problem. He tells Steve Sr. that he needs to act like a father, and to
Facts.
go get Justin right
Act
now.
like you-
Dr.
a
Now
pops that wanna
also
save your
reveals he
kid life,
knows of
bro.
the theft
Lock
of
in.
Justin's medication, and that he'd be pretty pissed too if he was in his situation. An absolutely beautiful moment because Steven has been trying to act like the good son in the background this whole time. Despite being told all of this by Dr. Now, Steve Sr. still takes a pretty soft approach with Justin, and he decides to stay in the car, showing no interest in his follow-up appointment. Justin was done with the program, but Steven still had his appointment, and it went about as well as you'd expect. We start off with the revelation that Steven had recently gained 34
How are they
pounds
still on
back.
this show,
The doctor
bruh?
then drops the bombshell on Steven that he knows of the theft of Justin's medication, and that they're going to run some tests on Steven to see if it's true. If so, the doctor claimed there would be serious consequences.
Bro, can you take an 800-pound person to jail? Like, seriously, bro. Like, I wouldn't, bro. You know how, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's a lot of, no diddy. That's a lot of meat, bro. Steven, boy, if you start hitting that little dance you were doing in the beginning of that jail, boy. King Tory Uncle, Felice Johnson. I've already said too much, man.
He tells Steven that if he wants any way to remain on this program, A, his tests need to come back clean, and B, he needs to lose 75 pounds in the next 2 months, or he will no longer treat him. The doctor also kind of
Once
goes
again,
off
bro,
on Steve
somebody make
Sr.
somebody make a counter, bro, of how many times Dr. Now has said he was gonna give up on Steven, bro. That's like what that gotta be attempt number 10, bro.
Says that there's a
Gotta be.
line between discipline and love, that the boys are grown adults and they're still relying on their father, and that
Yeah.
all of these problems start there. I can't say I disagree with the doctor. From a distance, Steve Sr. seems like he might be strict, I think due to his nature of being critical, but he has absolutely no follow-through with it when it comes to his sons.
Yeah.
They walk all over him.
They
Hobby
dare.
shops and apartments in Houston don't just fall from the sky, and there's really a dual meaning behind that. Steve Sr. has worked hard to provide his boys with these
Hard,
things,
you hear me?
but in doing that, he's made them into terrible people, both of them expecting just about everything that they ask for. Personally,
Yeah.
I think
Gotta
there's
say
a
no
bit of
sometimes,
guilt
man.
in Steve Sr. He knows the way that the boys were treated by their mother, so he can't bring himself to tell them no. I agree with the doctor. The entire family was dysfunctional in a way that I think no one has ever seen before. We then cut to 3 days later where Steve Sr. and Justin are packing up to return to Rhode Island. Justin had made up his mind and no longer was interested in the
Crazy
program.
deal.
Steve Sr. said
Got
that
like a
Justin needed
Roblox
something
deal.
to calm down, so he got him a
Okay.
new puppy for the trip. This is
Oh my goodness, bro. I mean, I think Justin could be able to take care of the dog. Steven, on the other hand, I don't.
just yet another fine example of Steve rewarding his children's bad behavior. It's crazy
Yeah.
that I even
Rewarding
call them
his
children because they're both
30-plus-year-old
30-year-old
children.
men. But
That's what I'm saying.
Jesus, Steve Sr. makes it so goddamn easy. How could you ever expect them to go anywhere? Call the
Yeah.
police on him, you get a pizza. Refuse to go to a doctor's appointment, which they drove through multiple states to get through? Well,
You get a pet dog. Yippee-doo.
son, you seem upset. Let me get you a puppy. It is absolutely no wonder
Yo.
that these two ended up this way. The
Yeah,
episode
bro.
ends with a montage of Steve Sr. and Justin making the trip back to Rhode Island. They say that Steven's been talking to someone from Des Moines and is considering moving there. But other than that,
Talking
we
to
don't hear
someone.
anything
He
else
got him
about
on
it.
some-
This
some,
was
you know
a
what I mean?
Justin-centered episode,
side
but it
piece on the
also
girl.
revealed so much about Steven's recovery, that it had been an absolute roller coaster, and it didn't end on a good point. But my 600-pound life would check back in on Steven one more time in the very
One
next
more?
season of Where Are They Now? Season 6, Episode 6 picks
Why is his foot on a pee pad?
up just where the
Just
last one left
disgusting, bro.
off. Justin
Pee pad,
had
poop
left
pad, same
Houston
thing,
because
bro.
he couldn't stand Steven for another second. Before we go any further, I want to point out that TV crews have been following Justin and Steven off and on for the past 2 years, having
only
around
2 years of
6
footage?
hours of television time in the process. But this
Jeez,
would be
man.
the last time that the brothers were featured on TLC, and after watching their episode, I understand why. It opens with Steven talking about his brother's sudden decision. He basically calls Justin weak. He says that his brother's decision
Boy, he
is
just
a
called
loser
somebody
move.
weak, bro.
Then out of nowhere, he shaves his head. He doesn't even put anything down either. He just lets it sprinkle onto the carpet, and then covers himself with the baby powder. After that, we
He has officially fucking lost it. Bro.
cut back to the carpet, and
My goodness, yo. You did this? Steven, you did this on camera. Knowing the husband at home is watching, bro. But then again, though, I think, like, when the bigger you get, bro, it's like the more you sweat. So he probably using the baby powder for his, like, little rashes. You feel me? Like, if you get the chafing, I don't know, man.
then covers himself with the baby powder.
I
After
don't
that,
know,
we
man.
cut
He's
back
just a
to the
little
road
freaky to
trip
me,
that
bro.
Justin and Steve Sr. are undertaking. Justin talks more about his hate for Steven and how he never wants to see him again, but his dad won't respect that, so he's very angry with him. But Justin said that his dad helped pay for a puppy as a peace offering, and he says that that dog has helped him with some of the stress that Steven's put him under. Justin
Okay,
claims
baby
that
dog.
another reason he had to return was because of his store, that
Yeah.
it needed him. Justin says that he's ready to get back to work on his weight loss, though. And we skip ahead what seems to be another 3 months, and Steven is attending another appointment with Dr. Now. When he
Jeez,
weighed in
man.
for his appointment with Dr. Now, he had lost only 4 pounds, but he still claimed that he was very pleased with it. But Dr. Now
Just
is not.
give it up,
he enters
bro.
the room and
Give
immediately
it up,
starts
bro.
laying it on.
We should've
telling
gave it up
Steven
5
that his
attempts
weight
ago, to
has
be honest.
plateaued, and that he's probably eating too many carbs. Steven says that he thinks he's doing great when asked, but he has one question for Dr. Now. Why is it that when he eats solid foods, he throws it up? The doctor immediately responds with, "'Cause you're eating too much," telling Steven that he needs to consume solid foods in smaller portions. He questions why Steven isn't wearing any shoes, and he says it's because he can't fit into them. And then after letting out an audible sigh, he also questions Steven's personal hygiene habits.
Oh yeah.
Something called soap and water.
I think the doctor already knows the answers to all these questions
Dr. Down
because he
holding
then
back,
starts
bro.
going in on Steven about his personal hygiene. I gotta say that this is one of the most brutal conversations I've ever heard with Dr. Now. He doesn't like to sugarcoat things, but this was an absolute bloodbath. He basically told Steven that he stank and that he had made no progress in his weight loss journey.
Smell like
He tells
a
Steven
pound
that
of
he
dick
smells
cheese.
so bad that multiple members of the staff are sick. Steven tells him that he just showered the other day, and Dr. Now says that he thinks Steven hasn't showered in weeks. But other than that, the doctor says nothing on those tests. It seems that once again Steven has gotten away with his bad behavior. After Steven's appointment, we cut back to Rhode Island and ahead yet another couple months, and it's been 2 years since they've started documenting the Assanti brothers, and we once again see Justin, who appears to be doing very well. His hobby store is thriving, and it looks like he's lost a significant amount of weight since the surgery. He says that the hobby store has helped him with his social anxiety and weight loss. We would also be told that Steve Sr. would be traveling to Houston to see Steve Jr., which he did, and all was going well until Justin had a medical emergency. In the hobby shop one day, he just got weak and collapsed. So back to Rhode Island to see him. And Steven wasn't happy about this. He locked his father out of his apartment and refused to see him.
Your brother could have just possibly died. And you just mad that your pops went to go see him? Are you serious, bro? Yo, I'm thinking the whole time he about to say, yo, Steven felt bad that his brother, you know what I mean, just had to like just collapse. You know what I mean? Possibly just had a heart attack in the store, but nah, he only just care about him, bro. So I ain't gonna lie, bro, after hearing something like that, bro, as Justin, bro, like he always been trying to keep his distance, bro. He'll talk to him on occasion, bro, you'll never get a word out of me again, bro. It have to be like, cause if you don't care about me dying, bro, like, man, what's the point of me even? Yeah, it's no point, bro.
In Rhode Island, Justin is having a video call with Dr. Now. When the call begins, Dr. Now immediately goes in on Justin for leaving Houston early, telling him that it was against medical advice and life-threatening. Justin said that he had to return to the store because he was losing money and that he had responsibilities back in Rhode Island. Other than that, the phone call was relatively uneventful. It seemed that Justin's medical emergency wasn't serious, but Dr. Now still recommends that he goes to a local clinic to both monitor his weight loss and make sure he doesn't suffer any health complications.
Yo, like, side note, bro, yo, I never knew Dr. Now was a part of the Yamily. Yo, oh my goodness, yo, where he is Yam, bro? I never knew this, bro.
We once again jump back to Houston and 2 months into the future, and the long-awaited tests have finally come in. And needless to say, Steven didn't pass, so Dr. Now finally decided that he could no longer treat Steven.
About time we cut this man off, bro!
Steven didn't really have any plans of changing, just new ways to feed his habits. But despite the news, Steven put on a positive face for the camera, claiming that he was clean and fully taking care of himself. Steven then reveals the source of his happy nature. He's been talking to a woman over the past couple weeks, and she's coming to pick him up. He claims that she's his girlfriend, and that explains why he is cleaning. He says
oh my goodness. I thought he was... Steven? I wasn't familiar with your game, bro, but I would be, I low-key, I don't know, bro. Either A, she a part of that feeder fetish, she likes feeding overweight dudes or just likes overweight dudes. Or B, she in it for that welfare check. I don't know which one it is, bro. I don't know, but I don't know, man.
That her name is Stephanie, and that he'll be moving to Iowa into a house with her and her daughter. I just want to add in, someone should get
Her daughter? You moving an 800-pound man in your crib and you have a daughter? Yo, she gets no niggas. Yo, bro. Yo, she gets no play, bro. It's no way Steve is man. I mean, I'm not familiar with his game. Maybe he know how to talk a shorty through it on the phone or something. Yo, bro, this don't even make sense, bro.
this woman a Parent of the Year award. Her name is Stephanie, so I'm just going to call her Stephanie. Stephanie, you've made an amazing decision for not only yourself, but your whole family.
Yeah, bro. Now you got 2 kids, a grown-ass 30-plus-year-old kid to take care of and a little girl. Jesus, man.
I'm sure it's all worked out nicely for you. He says that they met online and things are beginning to make a lot of sense. He says that he's excited for the Iowa move, but a little bit nervous. He doesn't know how he's going to give parental guidance to a teenager, but claims that he'll just go with the flow.
I know that daughter pissed, bro. This ain't even no little one. This like she probably high school age, bro.
He says that Stephanie is going to be so good for him. She doesn't even believe in frozen foods, only home-cooked meals. And she's also super enthusiastic about helping him with all of his goals. How much of this is the truth, I have no idea.
We have no idea,
understand
bro.
why this is the final episode of the Assanti brothers on TLC. Steven's new situation is horrifying, at least to me, based off of knowing all of his history. Steven says that the only thing that hasn't improved is his relationship with his father and brother. He says that they're jealous of his new girlfriend, and that they're...
Nigga, don't nobody care about... Bro, oh my, don't piss me off, man. Shout out to Shorty. She low-key... Hold on, let me see her one more time. We at 253. Hold on. I don't want to... Yeah, I mean, she not ugly at all. You know what I mean? But, bro, ain't nobody jealous, gang. Ain't nobody jealous, bro. You know what I mean? Calm that ass down, bro. Folks get their first girl and just assume everybody want her. Calm down, bro. Slow down.
Accusations of her being a lady of the night hold no weight. A month later, Steven would now be living in Des Moines and officially married to this Stephanie woman. This is a grainy picture of their wedding, and his father and brother did not attend. Things were finally starting to look up for not just Steven, but also Justin.
Hold on, Justin, hold on. Wait. That's his auntie, or you got him a little
in Rhode Island, he
got
was
him a little
looking
girl
at an
too?
apartment. He says that his weight loss and the hobby shop are both doing great. Then Justin starts talking about Steven's new relationship with Stephanie. Justin and his father both thought Steven was messing with them, and were pretty surprised when he made the move to Des Moines.
We weren't familiar with the game!
He has no interest in a future relationship with his brother, and that's about all he's heard of him. We skip ahead another 2 months, and Justin is better than ever. Steven was now living his new life in Des Moines with his wife and stepdaughter, so Justin hadn't seen or heard much of him, which was how he liked it. Steve Sr. also seemed in much better spirits, as they packed up all of Steven's stuff to be put in storage. Justin said, and I quote, that I am happy to have every last trace of Steven out of here. He could not hate his brother more. And from what I've seen happen, it's completely justified. He says he has no idea what type of person would want to marry Steven, but he doesn't care because he's so happy that he's out of his life. He finally says that his brother is just an evil person, but that he's finally gone, so now he's able to live a quiet life. Steve Sr. says that he's happy for Steven. Every now and then he thinks of him, but he says he's also sad. He knows that the move will lose him the help of Dr. Now, and I'm wondering if he was ever informed that Steven stopped seeing the doctor because of the failed tests that Steve Sr. himself had a hand in. Sometimes I can't believe that this story is real, but then I remember I'm watching the Learning Channel. We then skip ahead almost 2 years and see that Steven has once again reached out to Dr. Now for help. Steven says that he...
Buddy, you're done. It is far too late, gang. I mean, bro, like at this point, bro, literally, bro, if TLC helped this man again and throw him back on the show, they just money laundering, bro. They just print. Because clear as day, he pulled the views, man. Clear as day.
He's been maintaining his weight and actually having problems at home. He says that his wife is considering a divorce, so he's been considering
Who would have thought? Who would have thought that it wasn't the greatest idea to marry Steven Assanti, man?
returning to Houston to seek out further treatment. The doctor requests to look at Steven's leg, and after doing so, he claims that his lymphedema has gotten worse. The doctor also says that Steven looks closer to 700 or 800 pounds, and Steven confesses that his eating habits have not been good. He's been back to eating pizza, saying that he eats pizza 4 or 5 times a day. The doctor says that it's possible.
Are they at least home-cooked pizzas? I thought you said Shawty don't believe in frozen foods. You know what I mean? There's no way she baking your ass 6'7". No way she baking your ass 6'7" homemade pizzas, bro.
He has completely undone his weight loss surgery by stretching his stomach back out. The final episode featuring Steven would end with a statement from Dr. Now. Dr. Now says that it's unfortunate to see that Steven has undone all of the progress that he made in Houston. He really hoped that Steven would surprise him by turning it all around, but says that Steven has actually gone in the opposite direction and only gotten worse. Dr. Now refuses Steven the ability to return to the program in Houston. He says that he won't take resources from someone who really wants to turn their life around, because he believes that Steven does not. And the episode ends, but it's not quite the end of the story for the Assanti brothers. We'll start with what happened to Justin, because he has far and away made the greatest turnaround. Hobby Haven still operates to this day, now being more centered around Warhammer, which has exploded in popularity in recent years. So Justin's shop has been successful, but that's not all he's done. He also lost a substantial amount of weight. This was the most recent photo I could find of him, and he looks amazing. To me, it seems like he might have even got skin removal surgery already. And he also got married to a woman who shared similar interests, and they are still together to this day. Ever since the TV show, Justin has been pretty private. He put most of his time and energy into the hobby shop, his weight loss, and marriage. It's all worked out wonderfully for him. It seems like Steven had a pretty extreme psychological impact on him, one that has taken years to undo, if it even has been, but now his future looks extremely bright. Unlike his brother Steven's, all of the issues that Steven Assanti faced during filming continued into the present. After the final Where Are They Now, rumors were floating around that the Assantis would get their own TV show, but even if that was true, it never materialized. And I think it's not only because of the brothers' fractured relationship, but also Steven's unwillingness to get better. Eventually his wife had enough and left him sometime in the early 2020s. During his time with his
bro. Yeah, bro. Yo, not a single marble in his head, bro. This is, oh my God, bro. Mind you, somebody married this, bro. Somebody said, you know what, bro? He kinda cute, though. Stephanie, what on earth? She had to have been drugged. No other way. No other way. I mean, I'm a straight man, you know what I mean? But, bro, I don't think it's any amount of drugs, alcohol, shots that can make me, yeah, I mean, bro, like, drunk enough to be like, yo, bro, I think I'm gonna give Buddy right here a chance, bro. He damn look like a gerbil, bro. Like, all the hair, like, one of the little hamsters from G-Force. This is terrible.
Steven was more private, but after the divorce, he would begin posting more on Instagram, showing his worsening physical and mental condition. These are clips from some of Steven's live streams back in 2022, making it around 4 years since TLC stopped filming. Like I said, Steven's physical and mental conditions had severely deteriorated, most notably gaining a significant portion of his weight back and losing almost all of his his teeth. It would also be around this time that Steven would start a cameo. And in the beginning, this price was $15, but as I've been making this video, I've been checking back on it, and the price has fluctuated numerous times. One time I even saw him charging $265 a pop, but these days he still wants $65. And after he deleted the Instagram that he live streamed all of those videos on, this would be the only form of social media I could find him active under. And this was one of the most recent videos I could find of Steven.
Beard is crazy.
It's me, Alex.
Ah, damn, he finally lost that last two. I ain't gonna lie, this kind of he looked a little better in this one, probably because, you know, his hair grew back, he cut off the neck beard.
The one and only. It's me, Stephen Assanti. I hear that you love my episodes on TLC, and that you have 2 boys that are autistic, and that you work hard for your family, and that you recently lost a staggering 150 pounds. Now, I know how hard it was or must have been to lose that 150 pounds.
Yeah.
Because I have a problem losing 5 pounds. Just 5, okay? So, congratulations, Alex. For real. Hello to your wife, Emily. Your wifey, Emily.
Yo, leave his wife alone, man.
Yeah, man. I hope you have the best Father's Day ever. And hello again to your 2 boys. And I hope you have a beautiful, blossoming relationship for the rest of your life. God bless.
He has lost all of his teeth. He looks thinner than he was in 2022, but not by much, and seems really low energy. I would say that Steven is at the lowest point in his life. Steve Sr. is still alive and little is known about him, but I still wonder if he financially supports Steven. My theory is yes, Steve Sr. is a massive enabler, but Steven has no one else to blame for his current situation. No one made him do all of these things to himself. He wanted to, and made people's lives a living hell along the way. And I really think that he took pleasure in it. The way that Steven would crack a sly smile when talking about scamming the system or not sticking to his diet really makes me think that this is all a game to him, just a way to manipulate more people and get more stuff. And he exhausted all of those resources. His brother, TLC, Dr. Now, Dr. Phil, his wife, almost everyone but Steve Sr., and we don't even really have confirmation that they talk. I think that Steven's life is worse than ever, and that from the looks of it, he doesn't have long. His lifestyle will soon catch up to him. How it hasn't already, I have no idea. But Steven will never change. He has been given the best opportunities that he will ever get, and turned every single one of them down, or even worse, into some kind of joke. But he never seemed to realize that the only person all of this was for was him. And now he has to live with the consequences of a future no one wanted but him.
Man, bro. And that is the Stephen Assanti documentary, man. Yo, man. If y'all made it to the end, man, yo, comment down. Let's see what we can get, man. Comment down a salad emoji if y'all made it to the end. I just want to see. I know a lot of people probably, you know what I mean? I know probably a lot of y'all gonna use, I know a lot of y'all be telling me, y'all be using my beats as background noise, and y'all be going to sleep to them. So I ain't gonna lie, you got you a good 1 hour, 43 minute banger, man. But yeah, man, coming down, silent emoji, y'all made it to the end, bro. Let me know how y'all feel about Stephen Assanti, bro. Would you think he'll still be able to lose weight? Yay or nay, man. Yay or nay in the big 2025. But all that being said, man, if y'all got anything y'all want me to see, man, send it to me on Discord or Instagram at KingZayyy, man. And I'll be catching y'all in the next banger. And it's your boy KingZayyy signing out, man. Peace!